Hey everybody, welcome to Ultimate Effort, the Index Card RPG official, unofficial podcast made for lumpy-headed weirdos by lumpy-headed weirdos. I am Matt, the world's okayest DM. Here with me are John, Mike, Matthew, and Alex. And we're here to talk about some shit. We're going to talk about... we're just having a discussion, as a matter of fact, about... town and how there's a lack of it sometimes, and how when we run town in games, it can be clunky and it's like a time pit, and it's slow.
Mm-hmm.
Running town. I mean, you all agree, is
it's boring, man.
It's boring. It needs to be jazzed up, and we were thinking, why not? Maybe we could use the rules for. Maybe we can use the rules that already exist for ICRPG to organize town a little bit better, and we're going to be discussing that in our discussion session here. Oh shit! A black dragon! Roll initiative.
11.
I rolled a 9.
I rolled a 13.
Matthew, 11.
Yep.
Right.
15.
13. I like it when I go as low on the list as possible. John, what did you get?
Same here.
15.
I hate going first.
15.
I'm sorry.
15.
15.
I'm gonna butch my rolls.
Alex, what are you sitting at?
Critical natural 20, baby.
It's a 20.
Oh man, that means you get to go twice. You get to go twice. You get to take my turn.
We're starting the ultimate effort off right tonight, guys.
Indeed.
All right, let's go.
That's right. All right. So, town, right? It's cumbersome in a lot of games. It's clunky. What are some ways that we could use the system already existing in ICRPG to run town, streamline it, make it better some kind of way? What do you think?
I'm going to be a little bit controversial.
Don't.
And I'm going to say, don't play town. Don't do it. Just back away slowly.
Don't do it.
Absolute madman.
Town starts with T. You know what else starts with T? Terrible, because that's what it is when you play town. And I really try to think about
Don't
this.
do it. No town.
All right, because it just like you pointed out, Matt, it gets super aimless. You fall in this wonky time void. People want to split the party. And then the worst case is people want to buy stuff. And I really spent a lot of time thinking about that today. Why do people want to buy stuff when they go into town? And they always want to spend 50 coins and buy a magical sword or something crazy like that. Or I need rope, or I need a lantern. Why do people want loot when they go into town? Well, they want to get better, but I'm going to suggest that perhaps it's our failings as DMs if we are not giving our players awesome loot out in the wild that they feel compelled to want to get better in town. So I don't think you should do it. I mean, the reality is you're in a fantasy setting. There's so much going on out in the wonderful wild world that's fantastical and amazing. Surely you can find a better setting than town to roleplay. I want to get my players out and doing action as quickly as possible because town just isn't fun. Now, if you feel compelled to play town, I suggest you simulate town and not play it. So one thing that should happen, if you walk into town and you're a player, bad stuff should happen right away. Literally 0.2 seconds. Character stroll into town. Oh my God, they're turning into werewolves right in front of us. Fighter, what do you do? Or we just walked into town. Oh my God, there are trolls walking through town with wizards riding them, throwing fireballs. Everything's on fire. What do you do? That would be a great way to enhance excitement and not play town. But if you insist, simulate it.
That sounds great.
Make 6 buildings, number them 1 through 6. You get 2 turns in town. Okay, now we're leaving town. oh, we're in this town and all the children are missing. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's some scrawny kid who walked up from the salt mines. Everybody quick to the salt mines. There's a bunch of guys with scimitars and a creepy kid with a voodoo doll. Go. And don't play town. That's my advice. I'm sticking to it. I'll probably get flamed. I'm sorry. Don't play town.
That's one man's opinion on town, I guess.
I don't feel strongly about it at all.
Right.
Yo, man. Who's next, though?
John.
Matt?
John is next with his 15.
Okay, well, as a pretty much an immediate and opposite follow-up to Alex's brilliant
2 seconds.
portrayal of town.
Difficulties. It will be fixed
Is
in
that me?
a few seconds. No,
Oh,
it's
Matt.
not.
Matt, yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit all.
You see, I kind of have the opposite experience with playing in towns. Like, towns can be extraordinarily interesting as long as every town that you play, like you. Oh gosh, no. As long as towns and every town that you play is there for a very specific reason. If your town is there for the specific reason of resting your players, or just being a resupply, or repairing items, or giving them a place to sleep, definitely simulate. And let's not forget, Index Card has 3 different time scales. It has moments, it has hours, and it has days. When you're simulating towns, don't be afraid to use days. You have X days. How do you spend it? You're going to heal. Okay, great. And then move on. Take at most 2 turns to get through the town, and then you move on. All it is a resting point from it's the B between A and C. Okay. Now, if you want to do a specific role play thing, which I like to do, I like to put investigations, mysteries, and I like to do a lot of plot hooks in towns. And in fact, pretty much any town that players walk into, like Alex said, something is immediately wrong. It's not everybody turns into werewolves, but there is a mystery to be solved. There's a quest to be had, and there's probably a mind flayer controlling the entire town. And so there is an entire quest just involving that town. And so you involve the different time scales from there for hours to do the investigation. And then when that investigation evolves into an actual encounter, like say a fight, then you change it to moments, and that's when you get into your crazy action. So really, you shouldn't take all that much time to run towns, but still keep them very interesting, as long as you take as much care in designing intentionally your encounters. Treat your towns as encounters. Then towns will probably stop being aimless.
Don't let them kind of go off the rails.
Yeah, don't let them go off the rails. And when players want to go buy stuff, you'd be like, okay, so this turn. So you say like this turn you want to buy things. Okay, we're going to get into commerce later in this thing, so I'm not going to get into that here now. But I have a proposal on how to get through that in 1 to 2 turns in ICRPG. So within the hour to day time frame in terms of the time scales for turns. So, towns shouldn't take that long. And if they do, it should be because you intentionally made it to be an encounter in your adventure. So.
Okay. So.
It's my turn, but I'm going to give it to Matthew.
It's your turn?
Yeah, but you can go ahead.
Yo, you sure, man? That's an honor. All right. So, towns, man. Like, I think I get your point, Alex. And I hate town deep down. I know I hate them, but here's the thing. After doing like a mega dungeon, they need some rest. So they need to get into town, and they need a new purpose. Maybe they like this purpose. Like they finish their quest, they kill the lich, and now what the fuck are they doing? They're gonna go to town, right? Like there is a purpose. Maybe a restart, a new quest, a new episode, or something. And like unless there's something like role playing or actual encounters, the town shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Okay, you rest, you're full HP. I don't mind. You want to buy stuff? Here's a table. buy stuff, because you need somewhere you have gold, you know, you need to sink it somewhere. So I know not many of us have given credits or gold in ICRPG yet, but it's there. You know, you have the starter reward that's a gold pouch, I think, or something. So it's there. You need something to like spend your gold. So it's a town, man, or a trading post, or whatever you want to call it. And but of course, something needs to happen. And how I would run town is, before they go in town, I will ask them, like, and when I say before, it's like the session before. What do you expect, or what? No, not what you expect. Actually, legit, what you want to happen, and I'm gonna put it there. If they want to meet like a potion master that's gonna give them tips or quests, he's gonna be there. Because unless I'm not gonna put something that I don't tell them in advance, because they're just gonna roam around town, we're gonna spend 2 hours of role playing. They're gonna go to the fucking Blinsky who sells toys, who's useless in the adventure, and you're like, I have to role play this guy, but he's not important at all. Like,
Right.
it's a waste of time. I know it. They don't, but I know it. Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents on what you said, guys.
Okay. So yeah, I'm not gonna be polarizing like like Alex, but for towns, the way I see towns is it has to be they have to have a reason to exist, like dungeons, like everything. You know, it's a question of experience. That's what you're trying to give to your players. Yeah, you're trying to offer them an experience basically. And towns, in my opinion, are used more often than they should be to just waste time. Entire sessions traveling into town and nothing's really happening. And the way I see it is, bad GM uses towns to sink time so that they can prepare next session or stuff like that. So you're gonna pass like half your session in town doing absolutely nothing, and then there's suddenly something happening, but you're like, I just have like an hour planned of my session while the players are goofing around town because I didn't really give them a purpose. So I would, if you're using a town, it would really have to be like what John says, like you have to have a purpose to it. I wouldn't roll it as a dungeon. I think players are enough smart to go in a direction and they know what they want, but you have to look at what your players are doing and stuff like that. So you have to be careful. Like, you want to railroad them, but at the same time you don't want too much in towns. That's pretty much it. You can go ahead, Matt.
First of all, is there a huge lag on what you guys can hear from me right now? Yeah, huge lag, super duper. All right, I'm gonna pass this over to one of you guys while I figure out this connection issue. Let's move on to the topic of the economy system. What John touched on.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, man, he's gone.
So what we're going to talk about is the first tribunal question is about.
Yeah, can we talk more about towns? It's a discussion, no?
Yeah,
it's not a tribunal.
We got time to.
I'm gonna attack Alex on this one. No,
I'm gonna say you guys almost convinced me, but I still hate town.
You're right. I hate town too. Like Mike said, I use town to waste time in a session. I'm not gonna lie. I used to do that. I won't anymore.
Yeah, that's why.
Running them as a dungeon is freaking smart, though.
See, I've never seen town as a place to waste time. I've always seen it as a place for intrigue, where dungeons are a place for action.
But my players were always super dumb. They went to the dumbest shop to do the dumbest things. I was like, I clearly said that the alchemist was shady. And then you asked me if there was another shop, and I said yes, but you went to the other shop, and I'm like...
They don't want to deal with the shady person. What you do is you make it so that there either is no shady person, or when they go to the non-shady person, they have a knife in their back. So now it becomes a mystery. Who killed the good alchemist?
Like I said,
I see your point.
It's all about the experience. It's really what you want them to live in that town. If it has no purpose, don't even play it. Like look at it like in a video game. Is it a place to sink time and money? I find that kind of boring. It has no utter, it doesn't have any effect on the rest of the campaign. It's just useless as it is.
Yeah.
It's just a
I really
time waster.
the thing I'm gonna pick up from where our discussions is timers, man. I'm gonna put so many timers in my towns.
Yeah, but you don't have to abuse them.
Yeah.
No, not abuse them, but
Timers-
we need something to make people move, and timers
But
are the solution
in terms
to
of days
that
and stuff,
problem.
because sometimes what I see with timers is you want to push them. Like it sometimes feels unnatural to use a timer in certain situations, and it's you want to use them smartly, but I think like we talked about like timers. It would be like a D4, and it determines how many hours in a day that the players waste. Was that that's what we talked about, right? You roll a D4, or they have a D4 turn.
You have you could have a timer in days. You could have a timers in hours. Maybe you have 3 hours to spend in the town before something happens, and you know
Exactly.
it, so you're gonna do it quick, and you're gonna leave town as soon as possible because the Templar are coming back, and you are hunted by them, and you know that because metagaming.
Or the town's going to become under siege by whatever force was chasing you before, and so you have a choice: either leave the town or prepare to defend it.
Yep.
And so then that determines what the next adventure is going to be. Yeah.
If the town, and if you guys can hear me, I think
Yeah,
that if the town is if what happens in the town is story critical, great, do something in the town. Otherwise, I like to at my table, I like to I'll be like, okay, well, whatever is okay, great, you guys make it a town. Whatever you can find, anything 50 gold or under that you could find in like in the loot, or in 5e at least. I'd be like, okay, anything 50 gold and under, you can just buy that. You know what I mean? We're not gonna role play a town for 3 hours. Yeah, let's go kill some shit. And
you connect.
Yeah, because there are some supplies that you can loot the dungeon, like food, man. It's useful food. If you don't have a healer in your party, you want food.
Mm-hmm.
All of my towns are story critical. If there's a town and you're in it, something important is in that town, and if you leave town empty-handed, you have missed it.
Exactamundo.
Mhm.
That is how you do towns.
I just
I should be doing towns in any system.
I don't like towns are the biggest time sink in the game, aside from simulation with like 5th edition, for example. But this being ICRPG, we don't have that problem. But I kind of, it seems radical, but I kind of agree with Alex for the most part. Just like, fuck town, man. Just don't even do it unless it has something to do with the story.
I'm being a little bit facetious tonight, but
Yeah.
truthfully, Matt, I think, and guys, I think there are way cooler locations in your fantasy world than town.
Sure.
I think trying to prep town and play town is a lot of effort on the part of the DM or GM. I have a hard time role playing all those characters sometimes that my characters want to talk to, and it just seems to have a tendency to bog down the game. And I would much rather just be out in the wild in some neat location, doing some fun heroic stuff, and as Matt says, killing some stuff.
Yeah, and you'd feel bad to tell them no. The NPCs don't want to look you in the eye. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And that might be a style difference. There are some people who enjoy certainly campaigns that have intrigue built in. I think you can do some fascinating things with like, why is the mayor's wife suddenly ill?
That's story critical too. I mean, that makes sense to be in there for a long period of time.
Or there's an iron shortage, but truthfully, I would much prefer to drop those hooks and then get them moving to a different location. That's going to be a bit more exciting.
If you have town, I think that like okay, so like I don't like town, but my players sometimes do like town, right? So if I have to do that, I don't give them the whole town to go to. I'll give them like points of interest. Like you can go to the tavern, you can go to the Citadel, you can go to the Iron Worker, stuff like that. Or in Warp Shell, you can go to the weapon. You can go to the gun shop. Yeah, the gun shop. But I don't know, man. I don't generally have anything positive to say about town though. Like it just kind of grinds my gears.
Well, the positive thing that I would say about town, and kind of going off of what Alex said, is that I would rather have my players doing something interesting But what I find fascinating is from a storytelling point of view, because that's how I tend to write my adventures. Towns are where the people are, and people are where the stories are, and so
Okay.
and so exactly like what Matt was saying, it's a basic axiom in storytelling that if it's not relevant to the story, it shouldn't be there. So
Mhm.
don't have a town if it doesn't have something interesting in it. If it doesn't have a quest itself in it, or if it's not, if you can find some way to do a plot hook, or for a quest plot hook that it doesn't need to be in a town, don't have it be in a town.
Right.
But if if you have something that would be really good in a town, like I think what was it? Eric Sheely is just talking about a 5e group where they rooted out a mafia ring. That's an interesting story. I'd play that story. And so and a lot of people would. So, anyways.
Cool.
We can.
Cool. I think that's a bunch of good information, and I don't know how would you guys who are watching run town? We'd love to hear in the comments if you have anything to add. That'd be great. We read all that stuff, so
Yeah.
And you guys can see it on. Yeah, we can pass on to Tribunal.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna go into Tribunal. So we're going to first of all. We arrive in a dark cave. Our torchlight barely lights the interior. Through the gloom, we can see several sets of glowing yellow eyes. Roll initiative.
Seven.
Nice.
Christ. 19.
19.
17.
12.
Who got 12, John?
Yeah, 12.
What'd you roll, Alex?
17. Yeah, I switched out my crappy die from last week.
Nice.
There
Yeah,
I thought that crappy die with your lucky die, man.
I know, right? All I do is roll threes with it.
Yeah.
I would be flushed them.
My players love it.
So for a tribunal today, something kind of it touches on the topic of town. It's economy, like the economy system in ICRPG. How do we use it? There's no clear-cut rules for it because, like many things in ICRPG, it's left up to the DM to just, to kind of decide how it's going to be handled in your particular game. How would we do it? How would you do it? What value does a piece of gold have? Like, what does that look like? And it looks like Mike, you rolled initiative, man. So you rolled 19. What do you think?
Yeah, Mike, what you think, man?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like the town.
No economy.
And it's even economy systems are even more complex. Well, for me, I think economy system is more complicated than even running towns. Well, they can be fleshed out. Like let's say you want to create this giant economy and stuff like that. Because look, you can break economies really easily if you understand, like, if you let your players do it. So why would you give more options for your players to break the game? And Matt is gone. You're back. You're lagging out and so yeah, the easiest way I would run like economy would be like you can buy maybe you can buy your Christ, how you call it, the rewards at the end of a
milestone.
Yes, you can. That's how the way I would see it is you can buy out your milestone rewards with money. That could be a solution. It's to that's how I would add like economy and stuff like that. Your goal can sync itself into the milestone rewards or the random tables. So you, for 50 gold, you buy a random D100 and you get a random item. I wouldn't add shops and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't like using towns, and I don't like. Well, it depends. It depends. If it helps to your story, if it brings something to your story, then use a town and use the economy system. But if it doesn't bring anything, why use it? Like if it's valueless, it's like a mechanic not used in a video game. If you're not gonna use it, why put it there? Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
Right on. Alex, what do you think?
So, does ICRPG need an economy system? No. No, it does not.
I don't think so.
Consistent with my philosophy about playing town,
Right.
you also do not need an economy. That being said, someone astutely pointed out that you can get a bag of 50 coins. And to that, I might say, okay, if you want to take that, great. I think you should take another piece of armor. But if you're insistent on taking a bag of 50 coins, take that and you can trade in that bag, that pouch of 50 coins for a bribe or a favor, or you just use that bag or that pouch as the
hero token.
Yes, basically. That would be my simple economy. Outside of that, I don't think it needs one. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right, next up is John at 12.
Well, I think kind of similar to what Alex said. There's the bag of 50 coin, and then on various places on the loot tables, there's also the chance to get varying coin of varying amounts. And so there are the chance to have some coin on your person. And I agree. Does Index Card need an economy? No, it really doesn't. However, it also is it's also very loot centric, and players will eventually want to be able to, sell or trade loot for different things. And so at that point, you are talking about an economy system that doesn't have attributed values to it. So what I would propose is essentially one of two systems, both of which rely on bartering. They're both fairly subjective, but one is basically the game master looks at a piece of loot, where it comes from on the loot table, what its use is, if it has tags, and basically thinks as the NPC, what would he think this is worth in terms of coin? And he would pose that as a value for the item, and the player character would try to do a charisma roll-off to, get it down to an agreeable price, and you would have it that way. There you go. That's a very simple economy system. It's just barter and trade. They can trade in an item for an item of equal or lesser value on a loot table. So if they can trade it for something if they have a shabby item, they have an item from, like, say, the common loot table, they can trade it for something on the common loot table or the shabby loot table when they're in the appropriate place to do so, not just anywhere. Now, the other system that I would suggest, if that's not exactly your cup of tea, if you think that would cause more arguments than it's worth, another system that could also cause a lot of arguments, but would also probably be a lot faster, is just to say, okay, you have X amount of coin. Based on that, you can get X number of items, or you can get an item from this loot table, or less.
That's interesting.
So
I like
if you have, and so you basically assign, and when they get an item, that uses all of their coin. So it's just very simple, bam. So that's how you handle purchasing items. And trading items, you just trade. It's just a flat trade between the PC and the NPC and the shop. So I think that's how you would handle commerce outside of, like, say, bribes and stuff, which I think really would be the primary use for coin, would be furthering the story, not getting loot. Because you really should, as a game master, be awarding enough loot that they shouldn't feel the need to go into store and go into the town to buy things.
Yes.
It's especially with like how weird some of these items are. Like why would an NPC vendor have some of these things on hand? You know, like an amulet of kings. You know, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. So if you're gonna have a commerce system, I would highly recommend just a simple barter and trade, and use coin for role playing.
You're muted.
And he's muted. Or maybe not, I don't know. I'm gonna keep. We don't hear you. That's cool.
Ton, ton, ton.
Yeah, so
Cool.
as
So I'm gonna go. I can go.
Um,
Oh, he's there.
I guess
He's
I'm
there.
next to the initiative. Huh?
okay.
Yeah.
Huge delay. Huge
you guys hearing me?
delay. And he's gone.
Yep.
All right.
Wow. We just can't win tonight,
Oh man,
guys.
the editing of this video is gonna be a pain in the ass.
Nice. So who was next? Me
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Mike?
it was you. No, it was you. Go ahead.
It was
It
you?
was you.
Okay. You shall go then. So, does it need an economy system? Well, I'm gonna say no to be agreeable. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say no because it of course doesn't need one. It's just I can totally see the need for it sometime, but only like a shop, you know, a general store or something. Like your players who go to town, they have no healer, they want to buy stuff, you know, and they won't trade their stuff if they have like 2 items, you know, they won't trade their milestone reward for a piece of bread. And I can see that you would just assume that they have gold and give them everything, like they want to rest in the inn and you just give it to them. But it's kind of odd. It sounds silly just to say it like that they get anything they want from stores, you know, just like that. And maybe we should do what Alex said and never run in a single town and this solve the problem. No, seriously, I'm not kidding. Like,
I don't know about that, but
yeah. That's odd. You know, I don't have much to say. I think we said everything about the economy.
what I will say though, in sort of a corollary to my idea of getting people out into the wild, is that if your party needs a healer or whatever, rather than simply running to town as a simple answer, maybe that becomes the basis for your next quest. So, there's this healing fountain. It's rumored or fabled to be deep underground across a black underground lake or whatever, and then set that up as the next prong of your adventure, rather than simply running to town. And if your players are lacking for things like lanterns and rope, I mean, surely they can find a crate somewhere along the way that will satisfy those sorts of needs. So that would be my only other piece that I might add to that.
So would you just give them stuff if you don't count gold? Because I see it as it solves more problems, and I don't mind doing it, you know.
Somebody wrote it.
Like, give them rope, give them stuff. They're in a town. They resupply for free, and like it makes sense. They can't resupply in the wood.
Yes, if you do run town and be like, oh, you know what are you looking for, and then here, and that might even happen in between sessions. So in the meantime, you guys are going back to town. You've restocked, and now we're on to the next leg of the journey. Yeah,
because there's no point to just start up the session and you just go, oh, we're gonna walk to town, and then you walk them to town, and then you roleplay useless NPCs, and then they buy their stuff, and it's just just give it to them and go to the next dungeon or next adventure, next room, whatever. I can see that as solving many problems.
So Matt, can you try talking to see if it works?
Words.
Thank God. Yes, it works now.
Awesome.
So you can
Sweet
add
deal.
your add whatever you want to say.
All right. I'm gonna look. I think I like economy system. I like a simple economy system in an RPG, because you go into a dragon's horde, right? You kill the dragon. It's not sitting on nothing and then several magic items. It's usually got a giant amount of gold, and I want it, right? And that's the thing. Like, without an economy system, the gold is worthless, right? And I want the gold. All right, I want to use the gold to buy some shit. Right? And so, I think that a very simple economy system, like 1 gold equals 10 silver equals 100 like cold iron or something like that, works out. I think that if you're going to use the loot tables for absolutely everything, okay, maybe don't use an economy system. I don't do that though. Like at the table, like I think it's a. I mean, the loot tables are useful.
Christ. I'm just gonna stop you there, man.
Sometimes
Stop
it's
him.
a bit of a kind of a
Matt,
cop out to
Matt, you're going full robot on us, man.
not like plan what your characters might find, right? So,
Even that, it's still late.
sometimes you'll go unless you go to town and you buy an axe, you're never gonna find the bitch. You know what I mean? So that's just, I don't know. That's
Holy shit.
Okay, and Matt's gone.
Okay.
All right.
Somebody
So-
roll initiative. Matt's turning into a mandroid.
We tried to stop it.
We
man.
tried.
So going on what Matt said, if you really want to do a 10 a coin equals 10 silver equals 10 whatever, oh my gosh, why would you do that? That's one of the things that I hated the most about
Exactly same.
economy systems elsewhere, was having to do coin conversions.
It's like I used to do quests and gave my players 2k gold, and then afterward I realized I made a terrible mistake because 2k gold is a lot in D&D.
It's
And
a
I
lot
was
of-
like,
it's a lot of
holy
money,
shit,
you know?
I'm stupid. I thought it was like just in WoW, you just give him gold and you don't
No,
share.
you give them silver. You just
But
like, where's the gold, man? Yeah.
to me,
Oh
in
my gosh.
ICRPG, gold is less appealing than items. Items are way more cool than gold.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I would be upset if I got
Exactly,
gold
exactly,
in
exactly.
ICRPG.
Yes.
But running castles and stuff like that. Somebody wrote something in the chat earlier talking about. It depends of your gem style. Jason talked about that. And like if you want to run a long campaign, then an economy system is kind of necessary.
It is.
Yeah, because you won't build castles of your magic items,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that gold and jewelries and all those things that are just word gold that are useless just serve a purpose. It's basically you reward your players without like actually giving them OP stuff. It's a safe way to reward them.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of bribing, but if you give them a dragon treasure, they'll bribe the town,
Yeah,
So
you have to be
it's-
careful.
Like they will become the mafia.
Yeah.
So the way to sink gold, man, just
Hey.
let them roll on the table for 500 gold.
Yeah, and I just feel like if the game progresses to that point, you're back to some of that crazy level 10 D&D stuff where they're basically like gods, and I would far rather see my character struggling and overcoming at the very bitter last, because I think that's just far more exciting than getting a huge lump of gold and buying a castle.
Oh,
It's important to buy a
oh,
castle.
he's back. He's alive. I don't know what the hell is happening.
If they beat a dragon and get the dragon's horde, they can go buy a castle.
Yeah,
But
that's important.
that's probably going to be the end of that campaign.
We're a small town,
No way. No way. First you get the money, then you get the castle, then you get the power. That's just like that's midway through the campaign.
But even then, like in that kind of case, in ICRPG, like that's basically how it would be. It's like, okay, you beat the dragon, you get the horde. Like, what do you want to do with it? We want to build a castle. Like, okay, so you build the most elaborate castle in all the land, and you lord it over the people.
No,
and-
you have to roll effort with D4s until you reach.
Oh,
Oh,
hell,
Jesus
hell,
Christ.
Like we're talking, castles take generations to build, man. It's just not happening.
1,000 hearts.
We're not doing a 40.
guys
We're
are
not doing a
for-
40 heart challenge, with basic work.
Oh,
no,
Jesus.
no, we are not.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Why are you failing? Why are you always failing?
And you can pay. I hear you can pay a group of northern wizards like I don't know, 100 gold apiece, and they'll have that up in a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you're outsourcing to foreigners.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, let's move on.
So next topic is effort overused in ICRPG games.
And yeah, because
effort
Boy.
overused.
oh Jesus Christ, there's a
This one's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Don't you hear that noise in the dark? I think it's a tiger lurking. Roll initiative.
Oh, I got a 3.
Got a 7 again.
12.
I got 5.
We got a 3.
I did 3.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't let me win
So
this with
I
a 12.
think we're gonna hear whatever Matt said, like next week.
Probably.
I'm lagging so bad. I'm not even
There you go.
So sorry, dude.
So we're gonna. I think you better mute yourself, and we're gonna do it like this. You can still stay in the conversation. We're just gonna go right to it. I agree with what you say.
Like smoke signals. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree in advance. Okay. Okay, Alex, you rolled a 12, right?
Yes.
John, you rolled a 3.
3. And I rolled
7, and I rolled a 5. So Alex,
God.
you're going to be the first one to go.
That's the lucky die.
That is crazy that I won that with a 12. Okay, so here are my thoughts on effort. Is effort overused? I honestly don't know because I'm not sitting at your tables. But here's what I will say. Matt beat me. Good for you, brother. I'm taking your turn anyway.
He should probably start talking now so we can hear him.
That's bullying, Alex.
Yeah, right. Here's what I can say about effort. So effort, as you know, is basically applying a damage-like mechanic to non-combat tasks. Mechanically, what it results in is this idea of increasing time or elongating time. And particularly in a system that's very fast and fluid, you have to be very careful, I think, when you are dealing with making things take longer, such as tasks. So I would say use effort. When I first saw the system, I was not a fan. Let me just say, I was like, oh my God, this effort system, it stinks. It didn't help that I saw Savage as a Cath and I saw somebody try to do basic effort to intimidate a lone goblin, and they rolled like a 2 or something on the D4, and with 8 points to go, it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So here's my 3 simple tips to DMs out there regarding effort. Beware. One is you need to consider the context or the situation when you're considering applying effort. And the risk, the elongation of time has to match the reward. And so if it's something like getting open an awesome loot crate that has an awesome reward in it, I think it's worth taking the time to elongate that time. But if it's something like, say, trying to intimidate a lone scrawny goblin, you're potentially increasing time for something that you just should have done a simple binary pass-fail check on. So context is very important. The other piece of it is player morale. If you have players who are rolling over and over and over again, and either they're failing or they're only doing 2 or 3 points, and it's taking them forever to chip away at a task, and they're becoming disheartened or give up and go on to something else, then I suggest effort is not the right mechanic in that situation. So you have to be very, very careful about player morale. You don't want them to repeatedly fail or not get very far. And then the other piece of it, which is tied to the context of the situation, is sort of the time that you're giving up, is focusing this moment of elongating time, is giving that up to slow things down in this fast system. Is it worth it? If it heightens the dramatic tension or make things more exciting, like, oh my gosh, the roof is caving in, you guys, you've got to get this lock picked or everybody's going to be crushed by falling rocks. That's dramatic. That's exciting. That might be worth the effort. But those are the three considerations that I would say that DMs have to consider before applying effort. If you go through those three checks, the time, the morale, and the context and the situation, and any one of those just doesn't add up, then I would suggest that you are better off skipping applying effort to the task and going with a simple binary pass-fail check. And that's my piece on effort. Except to say that I think effort, when it is used right, is a really, really awesome mechanic. So that's it.
I agree with everything that just came out of your mouth.
Yeah, same here. I'm next. No, Matthew's next, right? Yeah, you get with a 7.
You want me to go next after what Alex just
really,
said?
I don't even know what to add onto that.
How do you follow that?
It's like,
I'm lucky I have to be quiet.
okay. The only thing I can add is basically when you decide to make effort part of something in the game, the effort required to do the thing must match the reward. Like, opening a door shouldn't take effort unless it's the last door before escaping, because the reward is there. You're going to survive if you open that door. It's pretty straightforward, But opening a wooden crate with a crowbar, or even with your hands, if you're gonna give them like a scrappy loot or common loot, if they spend 3 turns while their friends are getting fucked by the boss, the reward isn't there. Well, maybe it's a tactic to make them waste time. Like, they have to decide, do I help my friend? And that's okay, but they're already wasting a turn just doing the binary check. So it's enough. It's enough of a consequence for the loot they get. Like, if they get 2 pieces of bun, like, dude, that's shouldn't take 5 turns to open. That's all I have to say.
Sometimes you
Like, I almost wanted to jump in there because, like you said, if it doesn't match, if it's just there to, if your tactic is to waste their time with the effort, then that's okay. And it's like, honestly, I don't think that's okay, because all it's doing is teaching them not to open chests.
Yeah, that's why I said a binary check is quite enough in that case, because you waste them a turn instead of 3 to 5 turns.
So always make the effort worth the effort.
I guess I'm next. I have to agree with what Alex said. I have plenty of experience. Like, there's plenty of games where I was just pissed off at failing, continually failing to open a chest, and it was unbearable to always have to roll for the D20 to then apply your D4, and then, it's redundant, and it's not. It's a fast-paced game where you're doing the same thing over and over again. So for sure, it has to have, like, you have to add effort. Needs to be applied to things with a dramatic. What do I have to say? I don't have to add anything.
Unless you have a wildling in your group, then you're good to go with effort, man. Wildling are really strong
but
for
even
that.
There, I would really use it. Like, I would put more effort. I would create a campaign with more effort things because there's a wildling, because that's his mechanic. It's to open stuff. But I'm gonna let my turn to John. John, you can add whatever you want.
Okay. Well, honestly, I don't have much to add to such brilliance. I mean, I agree with Alex and with Matthew, save that one tiny little addition and whatnot. But I mean, I guess the only thing that I can add there is, things to potentially add effort to make your encounters more engaging, and just to try to keep the things that require effort to like one effort per encounter, that other than enemies, of course, but and that one thing that requires effort is either solving the main threat or unlocking the treat for the room. So if the roof is collapsing, that's unlocking the door to get out. It's backwards effort versus something.
It was monsters.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Effort versus monsters.
Yeah. Effort versus monsters.
Even your handwriting is lagging.
I have found that applying effort to puzzles works really well. If you kind of replace the whole like trying to figure it out with narration and stuff like that. Like they really get into that for some reason. That helps like break up the monotony of constantly rolling for effort. They're doing stuff. If you're building things, use effort for that. If you're solving a mystery, like I've been working on like a large scale mystery mechanic for one of my older adventures. Using effort for journeys. That's a great way to apply effort. It's a really quick way to shorten something that traditionally takes about as much time as getting through a town. Things not to put effort on are chests that have shabby or probably even common loot items. Players aren't going to be happy about that. Or if you are going to put effort on something like that, make sure there's more than one of those items in there. Like 1d4 or 1d6 items, something to make all of that work and all of that time that they put in there, worth it.
Yo, Matt, can you try saying what you had to say? Give it a shot.
Words.
It's still robotic.
Go for it. Go for it, man. I want to hear it. Effort versus monsters. That's what you wrote, right?
Oh, he's gonna type. Oh, what he's gonna do?
He's gonna attempt something. The suspense. It's killing me. Dun 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 dun.
Nah, but
Like for instance, the Doom Vault adventure. I actually added a raft into it, like a really old raft, and made it like a 4-heart crossing. And it was really fun because like they were pushing it like these cave ropers and the things that were once men were going at it, and they were trying to push this thing, and they had a couple of poles, so they were helping each other. And that's the thing. That's what I love about effort, is that it encourages teamwork to work through tasks faster. And whereas I think before effort, that really wasn't a thing. So
yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. So effort versus monsters is the only thing that I can think of. Do stop me or like flag me down if I start lagging again, because I'm coming at you from cell phone town right now.
Try turning off your video just in case.
Turning off the video. Okay. So, effort versus monsters. Like, okay, if you're gonna have, we had a situation in a dungeon a couple of days ago where there was, it's doing it again, huh?
It's John. I saw him tilt his camera. He's hiding his background.
Go ahead. It's okay, Matt. We hear you a-okay.
Yeah, Matt, you're good.
Okay. We had an issue where a player had a poison dart. They used it against a monster that was like a 4-heart monster, right? And the poison dart would have taken 4 hearts of effort to poison and knock out that monster. So in that situation, why would you not just kill it? You know what I mean? So that's what we end up doing. I think effort is to answer the question. I don't think it's overused. I think you should just use it situationally and pretty much. You know what? I can't beat anything that I don't have anything to really monumental to add to what Alex was going to say, because he pretty much said everything I had written down. but if it's used in the end, if it's used wisely, I think
moderation is the key.
I think yes, moderation is the key
for everything.
I'm going to be quiet now before I hurt myself.
Wait, before you go quiet, can you say the title of the next segment of this episode?
The title of the next segment of this episode is...
You want to say it with the deep voice. You want to say it. I know it.
That's right.
Okay, you said room design.
Room design.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet before I hurt myself.
All right. Room design. So what we have
Design.
today, we want to introduce something new for you guys. So basically, since Hank is busy doing some biking in Canada, I know he's back in the States now, but we want to do the room design, but adapted to ICRPG, of course. So we prepared something for you tonight. I think I'm going to have to start.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a quick summary, and then we can build mechanic around it with you guys. If you want to add something, feel free to chat with us. So, the setting of the room. The players are basically sitting in the tavern, drinking. So, disruption. They are drunk. Makes sense, right? Somebody shuts the door of the inn, the tavern, with a plank, so they're locked in, and set the inn on fire. You have a timer. The inn is on fire. Smoke is filling the room. Do you guys want to add something to that? We had mechanic now.
I guess we can roll for initiative and then just somebody adds something.
Sure.
Or I think we should go and like maybe add some lore or some story and stuff like that. I think it could be something interesting to do.
Okay, I'm down.
So let's roll for initiative.
Welcome to Amateur Podcast, where we don't even know what you're doing.
Hey.
I don't even roll a dice. I just move furniture in the corner and say a random number out loud.
Not gonna lie, I didn't even realize we were doing this.
It's a 14.
Rolled an 8.
Oh, I got a 14 too.
Oh, Christ. Alex, how much?
I have a
Roll up.
13.
13. Oof. And Matt, can you show me?
I rolled a 8.
A 10. Okay. And
16 on the reroll.
so
Oh, so I'm after John.
I'm starting. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
What can I? Oh, this is not. What can I add to that room? So the way I would see it is the fire is a monster, a little bit like in Fate. So it has hearts and abilities. So it would have like a spell that would be like spread fire, spell I don't know, a regeneration spell that heals it, and basically the players have to, I don't know, throw water
Well,
on it.
isn't spread and healing the same thing for the fire?
No, I would make it that one of the abilities makes it, stay in place and it doesn't spread. Spread would have like what would spread do is like separate its HP in half, so it could spread to another space. Because the fire is not as hot as in the center of the. Yeah, something like that. So the players are not overwhelmed. So like let's say the center of the fire is like 10 HP, 1 heart, and it spreads all around it 5 HP.
Okay, so it's never really spreading. Let's say they don't get overwhelmed by the fire. So the fire can only like reaches more area, so it can spread its damage, but not its effort doesn't increase.
Exactly.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And they put out the fire with water and reduce the effort.
Yeah. So next up it's John, if you want to add something.
So if I heard that correctly, the fire's main power is that it's a room target damage.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a monster,
Okay.
but it's a living.
Like it has
Okay.
it has a turn, so every time it's the DM's turn, you decide will the fire spread or increase smoke or something else, I guess. Any abilities. Like it's a creature, it's not a timer or something like that.
Okay, so we have the timer that the place is going to burn down. So like there's a definite like, okay, there's an end to this thing. So it's a hard and fast thing. Are we calling the fire our threat for the room?
Yeah.
Or
It could be one of the threats.
or we could because I mean the fire is what's going to burn it down. There could be something else in there, maybe the smoke is an actual like constitution save for them breathing in the fumes.
With the timer, maybe. You can have the timer.
So there's like not a timer that.
No, I would say that would be every round.
Okay,
Because
every round, con
the
check.
smoke's filling the room. Every round con
From the
check
get-go?
or take damage from it. Something really simple, but like really could be potentially deadly. Maybe it's 1 point, maybe it's 1d4.
I like that.
So that I would propose that as the threat to the room. I had an idea for the treat, but I'm going to leave that to someone else.
Okay.
So
it's my turn now?
I think so. Yeah, you were after me.
Shoo. I'm gonna add. So you have 2 disruption. No, you know what I'd do? I'd have 3 possible disruptions. So an NPC is running away and tumbles onto a player. A player falls because he's wasted, and 3, a wooden beam falls on them. So every 1d4, one of those happen. I would put them in a cycle. So you roll 1d4, it's going to be event 1. Next time you roll 1d4, it's going to be event 2, and so on. So it's just like very basic mechanic, very simple to track, and it's going to disrupt the hell out of them. So they receive a big beam, and other players need to stop putting out the fire to like help you out. So that's my touch.
Up is Alex.
We need a treat, man. Save us.
Yep.
Save us from this fire.
So one obvious treat, there's going to be some water barrels somewhere. And maybe the other piece is you add some sort of secret trapdoor escape, perhaps, as another treat if the players take the time and all that calamity to look around for it, or make their wisdom check. Maybe they find it somewhere in the inn. But those might be the 2 treats that I apply. John, did you have another one in mind as well?
I'm going to wait to see what Matt has to say.
If Matt can talk, that's the question.
If Matt can talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you already say the trapdoor thing? Because that was my idea.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I stole it from you. I'm sorry.
That's cool. I just thought it'd be cool to add like a moral choice to the matter. Like, hey, we could bail if we don't care about this guy's place burning down.
Yeah, something like that.
So you have to make them feel bad with the owner of the inn. Like, he's a really nice guy, you know?
Yeah, and he's got like
It's his family's heritage and all that stuff.
He got you drunk for free. He paid everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
What exactly is the timer? I know it's the fire spreading, but how
no,
would you
It's
make it?
the collapse. It's the collapse of the inn from burning down.
So
the
fire has a spell that does damage to the inn. Maybe the inn has 2 arts in a sense, and just the fire does damage every turn.
I think that's too. I think that's too complicated.
Yeah,
I think it should just be a simple like you have 1d4 rounds to get the heck out.
It's a little bit short, 1d4 rounds. I would.
Yeah, 1d4 is.
Or
don't
like
like that kind of
whatever your
timers.
timer is, you know.
Yeah, like.
It should be intense.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
I mean, the building's on
But
fire.
if you want to like develop something like these moral choices and stuff like a beam falls down, like a D4 is really. Look, you don't want to. You can stretch it out just a little bit longer. They're fighting the fire, and then people can start helping them, and you can actually face it. Because with a D4 timer, it's like, oh, you're fucked. If you don't kill this fire, you forget the house.
Yeah, you're just gonna run away. You won't care about the villagers and all that stuff. I
But
like
then-
to
then
add that. Like,
what's our timer? Then?
Yeah, with a timer that's low. With a higher timer, like maybe a D6 or a D8, we see D8. But whatever.
The timer may control the rounds of disruption. So you roll the timer.
2d4.
I mean, the smoke itself is a timer because you take damage every round if you fail your con check. So it's a timer in itself. You don't need a real 1d4 round. So if you have so I guess that makes sense. I like the smoke idea. It's really cool.
One thing that I really like about this potential encounter is that it allows several different avenues for success. So what if one of them is a player has high charisma and they roll charisma to organize a bucket brigade with the other people inside of the tavern? Or, maybe it's the character who has the high wisdom who looks around to see what they can do and they discover the alternate way out, or a faster way to extinguish the fire.
Or maybe someone sneaks out successfully and opens the door to help people out. Or something like that.
When you're drunken state, you start pissing on the fire to.
You get a bonus to piss
That
rate.
would be the first thing I would do.
Or the next check allows you to.
What would the rate on that be?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What were you saying,
With a
John?
hero token, you roll you roll effort.
Matt, were Matt, were you asking about the target of that room? What would we make the target?
18.
Oh,
Seems fair.
8 seems legit. Yeah, a bunch of drunken idiots.
Yeah, man, it's hard when you're drunk to like save people. Jason added something cool, like the moral dilemma. You have the
Yeah.
innkeeper. As soon as it starts, man, he falls unconscious. Maybe he receives something in the head, or just he drops.
Yes.
Or even
the
worse,
crying.
you save him or his daughter trapped in another room.
Yeah, or you can steal the inn's chest.
That's it. His crying daughter upstairs.
Yeah, or,
I mean,
or you can escape from in the underground, steal all the alcohol and the loot, and just get the hell out. But
Yeah, if you're a bad guy, yeah.
But these are not what a hero would do.
exactly.
These are what a
Right.
douchebag would do.
Yep.
This game has the real danger of bringing up.
I think I'm gonna put that on paper and maybe try to roll it and make a room design video on this channel. That would be cool. What you guys think?
Yeah.
We could
yeah.
do
Or
that.
let's play it.
Yeah, we could
Somebody-
do it on live.
Somebody make it and we'll play it.
Mike,
Yeah, well,
if only-
I've been thinking about, after I get done with the forest encounter cards, doing a like town, cities, and sewers, so expansion.
Well, time to bump Tavern up to the top of your list.
Yeah.
so guys, thanks for watching this live stream. It's all we have for tonight. Stay tuned. You're gonna see this room design. Perhaps it's not a promise, but perhaps. And maybe Mike, you want to do some shout outs?
I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, I want to shout out my friend Matt with his bad internet connection. He tried to look. We made this shorter, so yeah, because we had technical problems and stuff like that. We're gonna try to make it a little bit longer.
We truly need you guys. You need to post your questions. We didn't get anything this week, I think,
Yeah.
and that's what we want, man. We want feedback. We want help. We want something, man. Give us anything, man. Even if maybe selfies, I don't really mind. Just keep your clothes on. Just saying.
Um,
Just a couple of lumpy heads after all. We're not actually all that smart.
Or don't.
anyway, this is it for tonight. Have a good night, and hope you enjoyed the stream. See ya.